In 2014, a family from Westfield, New Jersey, bought their dream home, a grand mansion on a quiet street. For $1.3 million, they thought they had found the perfect place to build their future. But from the start, something felt off. It wasn't the creaky floorboards or the old windows, it was the unsettling feeling that they were being watched. At first, they brushed it off as their imagination, but soon strange things began to happen. Faint tapping sounds echoed through the house at night, as if someone or something was trying to get their attention. They shrugged it off, thinking it was just the house settling. Then, the letters started arriving. At first, the family assumed it was a prank, but as the letters kept coming, it became clear that something much darker was at play. The letters were typed and addressed to the new owners. But what truly unsettled them was how much the writer knew. "Do you know what lies in the walls?" one letter asked. "I have been watching you." The family tried to ignore it, but the letters didn't stop. Each one referenced their children by name, their daily routines, even details about the house, things no stranger should know. "My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s. My father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time." The family was terrified. Who was watching them? The letters seemed to know everything, details only someone who had been in the house before could know. The writer's presence felt like a constant, suffocating force. The family contacted the police, but the authorities couldn't track the sender. No one in the neighborhood knew anything, and the letters kept coming. Whoever was behind them was always one step ahead. One night, the father woke to scratching noises coming from the walls. Panicked, he rushed to the basement, but found nothing. No explanation. As the days wore on, the fear grew, and they couldn't ignore it any longer. The family decided they had to leave. They contacted a lawyer and learned that the previous owners had failed to disclose the unsettling letters and history of the house. The family sued them, but the mystery of the watcher remained unsolved. The family moved out, and the house sat vacant for years. No one dared to live there. The watcher's identity was never revealed, and the letters stopped, but the house remained empty, haunted by the unanswered questions of who had been watching them and why. In 2009, a family moved into a brand new home in the suburbs of Illinois. The house was part of a newly developed neighborhood, built only a year earlier, and the family was excited to start fresh in a modern, spacious home. But from the very beginning, something didn't feel right. The house was pristine. Everything was in perfect condition. But strange occurrences began almost immediately. At first, they were minor things. Faucets turning on by themselves, lights flickering in rooms no one was in, and cold spots in the air that couldn't be explained. They brushed it off as the house settling, or maybe even faulty wiring. But it wasn't long before the oddities grew more disturbing. One afternoon, the family's teenage daughter went down to the basement to retrieve some old books. As she explored the storage area, she noticed a door that she hadn't seen before, hidden behind a stack of boxes. The door appeared to lead to a small room that wasn't listed on any floor plans. Curiosity got the better of her, and she opened it. Inside was a cramped, dark space, with a mattress on the floor, children's toys scattered around, and eerie scratch marks on the walls. The room had no windows, and it felt cold and oppressive. When the daughter told her parents, they were initially skeptical, but decided to investigate the space themselves. Upon entering, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The toys were oddly placed, as though someone had been there recently, and the mattress looked as though it had been used for years. The family couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night, things escalated. The family began hearing strange noises, footsteps upstairs when no one was there, whispers in the dark, and a sense of being watched. The teenage daughter woke up to find small handprints on her mirror that weren't there before. Terrified, the family did some research and learned that the land the house had been built on had once been home to an old, abandoned orphanage that had been torn down years ago. There were rumors of children who had gone missing in the area, and some said the orphanage had a dark history of abuse and neglect. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, the family contacted the builders. When they pressed the company, they were told that the room was an oversight, a mistake during construction that no one had noticed. But the family couldn't shake the feeling that the room had been there for a reason. Eventually, they called in a local priest to bless the house, hoping to rid it of whatever presence was lurking. Despite their efforts, the strange occurrences continued. Fearing for their safety, the family decided to sell the house and move. The new owners, unaware of the hidden room and the dark history, moved in, but the family's unsettling experience remained a chilling warning. In 2020, a couple from Portland, Oregon moved into a newly built smart home on the edge of a dense forest. Designed by a tech-forward developer, the house featured full automation lights, locks, climate, speakers, and security, all controlled by a self-learning system that adapted to the residents' habits. The couple, both in their early 30s, were drawn to the promise of privacy and convenience. At first, it seemed ideal. But within days, strange things began happening, things the system couldn't explain. It started small. Music played in empty rooms. Lights dimmed on their own. The thermostat dropped suddenly in the middle of the night. Thinking it was just the system adjusting, they checked the activity logs and found voice commands issued at 3:17 a.m. they never made. Twice in 1 week, someone asked to unlock the front door at exactly that time. The system said it came from a voice profile that didn't exist. They contacted the smart home provider. A technician inspected everything. No hacking, no malware, no unauthorized access. He recommended a factory reset, which they did. Things went quiet for a week. Then the activity returned worse than before. They began hearing faint crying through the speaker system, like a child sobbing. It happened late at night in empty rooms. They assumed it was a neighbor, but the house was isolated. The system's audio history showed nothing. It was as if the speakers had turned on by themselves. One night, a motion alert from the guest room prompted them to check the camera. The door creaked open. A chair near the bed shifted, yet the sensors didn't register anything. At 3:17 a.m., the lights flickered, and a soft female voice came through the speaker, asking why she had been left. The couple contacted the builder. At first, there was denial. Later, someone admitted off the record that another couple briefly lived in the home during construction. They left abruptly after the death of their newborn daughter. No reports were filed, but construction workers claimed they heard lullabies from inside the house before the wiring was complete. The couple tried to move on, but the system kept logging motion in empty rooms, mirrors fogged with handprints, and the unknown voice profile reappeared, always named Emma. Eventually, they moved out and sold the home at a loss. To this day, it sits on the market. Several buyers backed out last minute. One said the smart speaker whispered to her in the guest room, saying someone was still waiting.